Let's rank another season of Archer, and this time I will be ranking the episodes of season 6 from worst to best, so let's get right into it and start with my least favorite episode. Episode 11 continues where episode 10 left off. In this one, Archer takes Lana to the peaceful whales to sort out their problems, while the others give Ray a new hand in the B plot. And with that being said, this is easily my least favorite episode of the season, as I find almost nothing about this episode funny, and the episode itself is also not engaging, making it deserving of being at the bottom of my list. In Edie's wedding, Archer gets to pose as Pam's husband while they get to meet her sister. And after being absent for a long time, Barry makes a return to try and kill Archer. What keeps this episode from being higher on the list is the fact that I don't find the B plot with Lana looking for someone to watch her baby that interesting. And the main plot is also not too entertaining, as I find Pam's sister extremely annoying, and the plot with Barry trying to kill Archer has been done so many times at this point that it feels very repetitive. And all of this combined is why it's number 12 on my list. In episode 6, Archer gets to babysit AJ to show Lana he can take care of his daughter, but it's not long before he gets mixed up in some CIA mess and now also has to deal with that. While this setup makes for some funny moments, overall I find this a really forgettable episode. And while it's not a bad episode, it still ends up at the 11th spot. In Nellis, Archer calls in the help of his fellow co-workers to make it back home. Along the way, they pass Area 51, and it's not long before they find themselves in big trouble, allowing them to explore the secrets of the area after crash landing there. And Archer gets to poke fun at the apparent incompetence of the US Air Force. And while this setup results in some hilarious moments, overall I find it a really forgettable episode. Lana and Archer's relationship grosses everyone out, including me, so it's up to Cyril, Krieger, Ray, Cheryl and Pam to sabotage their relationship. And to do this they call in the help of Katja. This makes for some funny moments, but overall I don't find it that great, especially compared to the other episodes this season that are much better. In episode 12, the entire cast needs to help a scientist, with everyone except for Mallory and Krieger being miniaturized to the size of bacteria to make their way inside the body of the scientist. Archer fools around as usual and the rest are nervous about the mission. But aside from some great moments, this episode just serves as the setup for part 2, where all the action happens, which is why this is my least favorite of the two, because there just isn't a whole lot happening. In episode 3, Archer, Lana and Ray go on a mission to solve a murder mystery in the snowy mountains. And this makes for an engaging episode where you as the viewer keep guessing who the murderer is. And it's great that this time Mallory gets to prank Archer with an elaborate voicemail, which has been a long time coming. And overall this is a great episode, though there are just more episodes this season that are even better. Archer gets to meet Lana's parents while her parents still think Lana is doing her PhD, which is of course not the case. This allows Archer to screw up, resulting in some hilariously awkward situations, and it ends with an enjoyable action scene. And even though we never get to see Lana's parents again, they were great in this episode, and I'm hoping we'll get to see them somewhere in the future. But there are episodes this season that are even better. The final episode of season 6 ends on a high note, with an engaging episode where you as the viewer wonder if the gang will make it out of the body in time. And near the end I was actually surprised when they didn't make it, which is a nice plot twist. Aside from that there are lots of hilarious moments, making for an overall great episode. In episode 9, the agency helps Slater to get fingerprints and other personal information from a prince, which allows everyone to have at least a few moments to shine. Archer comes to the realization that Pam is his best friend, and both he and Lana try to make each other jealous, which ultimately leads to them getting back together again. And this is just an extremely enjoyable episode from start to finish, with lots of great moments. In the first episode of the season, everybody except for Archer gets back to the agency that has been renovated by Cheryl and Pam, not to be better but to look exactly like the original place, which drives Mallory to tears. Meanwhile, Archer teams up with a Japanese soldier who never realized the Second World War ended, and he brings him in contact with his family. So this episode shows the more humane side of Archer, though at the same time he's still a huge prick who doesn't take the mission seriously. Both these plots create some hilarious as well as touching moments, making for an incredible first episode, which is undoubtedly one of the best of the season. In 3 to Tango, Conway makes a return, which already makes the episodes a whole lot better as he's one of my favorite characters in the show, and the fight scene between him and Archer is just awesome. Aside from that, it's heartwarming to see Mallory care about Lana's baby AJ, and when the baby goes missing, she threatens everyone's life till she can guarantee the baby's safety. And of course at the end, Conway betrays Lana and Archer, and loses his other hand, which at this point has become a tradition. In the final moment we also learn that Lana has a sister, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, this piques Archer's interest. So throughout this episode there are lots of hilarious moments as well as great fighting scenes, resulting in an overall great episode. This episode is without a doubt the best episode of the season and easily among the best episodes of the show. Everybody gets locked up in an elevator and it only takes a minute for them to get on each other's nerves. And since everyone is present in the elevator, the entire cast gets some time to shine and gives them time to reflect on their personalities and their addictions. And for me the highlight is probably Ray trying to call 911, only to get blocked because apparently getting stuck in an elevator is not an emergency, which is just such a funny moment, creating an episode that's packed with hilarious moments and makes for a very rewatchable episode. So that was my ranking of the episodes of the 6th season of Archer. Let me know if you agree with my ranking, and if not, how would you rank these episodes? Thank you for watching, bye bye.